Hey, if you're an online seller, you know the scene, right? Boxes piling up, spreadsheets that are just a total mess, and you have no idea which version of your product is actually the best seller. Well, that hidden chaos, it can absolutely sink a business, but the solution is way simpler than you think. It all starts with a powerful little code that can turn your inventory from a headache into your greatest asset. Let's get into it. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to build your entire SKU strategy right from the ground up. We'll start with the absolute basics. What even is an SKU? Then we'll cover the unbreakable rules you just can't ignore. I'll even give you the perfect formula for creating them. We'll also look at why this stuff matters way beyond just your product listing, check out some common disasters to avoid, and wrap up with some golden rules you can start using today.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. What in the world is an SKU? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a unique fingerprint or maybe the DNA for every single item you sell. The key is no two are ever the same. An SKU, which stands for Stock Keeping Unit, is basically just a code of letters and numbers that you, the seller, create. This is your personal internal tracking number, and I gotta stress the word you. You're the one in control here, and that's what makes this so incredibly powerful for managing your business.
Now, a super common point of confusion, especially if you sell on Amazon, is mixing up an SKU with an ASIN. Here's the deal. An ASIN is created by Amazon for their catalog. An SKU is created by you for your business. You have total control over your SKUs. Think of them as your secret weapon for staying organized across any platform you sell on, not just one.
All right, so we know what an SKU is, but how do we actually make them work for us? Well, it all comes down to a few really simple but totally unbreakable rules. And trust me, getting these right from the beginning will save you from a world of hurt later on.
Rule number one, and this is the big one, every single product variation has to have its own unique SKU. A medium blue t-shirt is a totally different physical item than a large blue t-shirt, right? So if they share an SKU, your inventory count becomes a complete work of fiction. The main takeaway is this: one unique product, one unique SKU, no exceptions.
Second, you gotta remember that computers can be, well, pretty picky, so stick to the safe characters. Letters and numbers, great. Hyphens and underscores are your best friends for separating bits of info. Just stay away from special characters like the @ symbol or a question mark. And please, no emojis. These things will just cause system errors when you try to upload your file.
And this next one is so important, it gets its own rule. Absolutely, positively no spaces. A space can get misinterpreted by different software and systems, and that can lead to upload failures that are just incredibly frustrating to track down. Always, always use a hyphen or an underscore instead. Finally, you need to think of your SKU as being permanent, like a tattoo for your product. Once you create it and start selling, that little code gets embedded everywhere, in your order history, your accounting software, your tax reports, everywhere. Trying to change it later is a logistical nightmare, so you've got to plan your system from day one.
Okay, so we know the rules, but what does a good SKU actually look like? This is where having a simple, logical formula is a total game changer. Let's build the perfect SKU that's going to grow with your business for years to come. So here it is, a really simple but really powerful 4-part formula. First, you start with a short code for your brand. That keeps everything tied back to you. Next, a quick descriptor for the product, something like t-shirt. After that, you put in the most important variant, like the color, and you finish it off with the size. See how that works? It's logical, it's scalable, and best of all, any human can look at it and know exactly what it is. And check out how versatile this formula is when you put it into practice. For a t-shirt, you get brand, product, color, size. Makes sense. But for something like a USB cable, the formula just adapts to brand, product, length. You can even tweak it for combo packs by adding a little suffix, like -P2 for a pack of 2. The same logic just works everywhere, and it brings instant clarity to your entire inventory. You know, a great SKU system isn't just for keeping your warehouse tidy. This is where it goes from being a simple label to a seriously critical business tool. Let's talk about the boring but super important stuff like accounting and tax compliance. This is where all that upfront planning really pays off. When each SKU maps to a single tax code, your tax filing becomes so much easier. Your accountant can make clean entries into their software without pulling their hair out. And when you run sales reports, you get clean, reliable data you can actually use to make smart decisions. This is how you turn a simple code into real profit. All right, we've seen the right way to do things. Now let's venture into the dark side, the common catastrophes that can completely derail your inventory system. Learning from other people's mistakes is just as important as learning the right way.
So let's run through these common traps. Using just a string of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tells you absolutely nothing when you see it on a report. Tying your SKU to a specific platform like Amazon is a terrible idea. What happens when you want to sell on your own website? And we've already talked about using weird symbols and reusing SKUs. These are just classic blunders that will always come back to bite you.
And here is a perfect real-world example of what I'm talking about. A seller tried to use an @ symbol in their SKU, and wham! They got hit with an error 400, invalid characters. The whole listing was just rejected. They made one simple switch to a hyphen, and boom! Listing uploaded, no problem. This just shows how a tiny mistake can bring your entire operation to a grinding halt.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all together into a final actionable checklist. Think of these as your golden rules for achieving total SKU mastery.
Okay, here are the golden rules. Keep your codes readable for humans. Always include those key details like color and size. Think long-term. How will this work for returns and taxes down the road? But listen, if you only remember one thing from all of this, make it this last one. You absolutely must maintain a master SKU list. A simple spreadsheet is fine. This is your single source of truth, the command center for your entire product catalog. Seriously, don't skip this step.
So, I'll leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, take a really hard look at your own business. Is your current SKU system a powerful asset that saves you time and gives you clear insights? Or is it a hidden liability, just creating chaos behind the scenes? The choice and the control is all yours. Thanks for tuning in.